Snippet. What's happening, guys? Tyrone from Tiny Leaf Microgreen Farm. Yeah, today we are going to be showcasing a little favorite dish of mine and my wife Cassie's. We will incorporate some of our Tiny Leaf veg and some microgreens and some beautiful habaneros that we grew up on our farm, and yeah, just be a cool way to show you guys how we can incorporate some of our ingredients into a dish. So Arayes are little meat pockets, and we make our own little pita breads. They're really cool, really easy to make as well. So we'll start off with a nice little dough recipe, and we'll talk you through how to prepare this dough prior to puffing up your little pita pockets, and then we'll stuff them with some beautiful lamb mince, and we will put them on the barbecue and smash them beers. So quick shoots on Arayes. We have our wet and our dry ingredients. We're going to start off with 600 ml of water. Into that we'll drop our active dried yeast. That's 20 grams of dried yeast, and into that we're going to drop 50 grams of sugar. So yeah, you generally use some lukewarm water, and yeah, pretty much just give it a nice little whisk about. The yeast will feed in the sugar, and obviously the lukewarm water will help it activate. So let that sit for a tiny bit and let that yeast do its work, and then yeah, we'll move on to the next step. So now that the yeast has activated with the sugar and the lukewarm water, we're just going to add a kilogram of flour, and we're going to knead that, well actually just use our hands, nice little claw formation, and just work the flour into the wet water solution until there's kind of nothing really left. It gets pretty dank, but yeah. So next step, once we've kind of got the dough pulled away from the sides, we're going to add our salt. We don't want to do that initially because it upsets the little yeast colonies in there. So yeah, once you get it to a nice little stiffer structure, we'll add the salt in, and then we'll drop this onto a nice little clean work surface and start the kneading process to get a nice smooth dough. Yeah, just utilize your bench and just keep refolding the dough into the center and knead it out nicely. And after about 7 to 10 minutes, you'll get beautiful smooth dough. And then yeah, I'll show you that prior to putting it to rest for a little bit. Yeah, pretty simple recipe, pretty easy to smash out at home with some pretty basic ingredients. So after about 7 to 8 minutes of kneading, just letting it pull this dough back together, and you'll see it's completely smoothed out. We built up some good gluten strains in the actual dough, and we've worked and kneaded the dough into a really good space to let rest. So basically with pita breads we do a dual rise. So our first rise we're going to put into a bowl and cover it with a nice little damp tablecloth, and that's going to sit for about an hour and a half and do the initial rise. And then what we're going to do is we'll utilize, we'll shape out, we'll measure out the actual dough balls, we'll roll them out, and then we'll do a second rise prior to baking the pitas. So yeah, it's a nice smooth hand dough, as you can see, ready for our initial rise. Oh, that fan must be on, bro. Turn that thing on while we're prepping this chopper and cooking, bro.
Is the air on or?
Yeah, the aircon's good on, bro. But now your lights are on, wat kan is lekker warm.
No.
So guys, next important step for Arayes, you're going to make the filling. So we've got a kilogram of lamb mince. We are going to chop up a full red onion, about 4 cloves of garlic, and we've got some nice little fresh herbs. We've got some dill, some flat leaf parsley, and some cilantro. And then we have some aromatics. We've got some cumin and coriander seeds. We'll toast those up in a pan, blitz them up, and let those cool down before we add them to the mince. Just some molded sea salt, some ground black pepper, some olive oil, and then yeah, we've actually been growing these at Tiny Leaf, some beautiful habaneros, just to spice this dish up a little bit. We grow these for nomadic sauces. Check them out. Amazing little spicy sauces and smoked chili pastes. Epic for food and dishes, but yeah, really cool little habaneros have been growing for them. So yeah, straight up, man, that's our foot into Arayes. Let's get cracking. Awesome, guys, we're going to take these little spices we toasted up and we just chuck those into a Vitamix. Yeah, we're going to blitz these up, put some nice and fine powder, and we'll add that to our Arayes mix, and that'll be your cumin and coriander, nice finely grounded powders that'll add some nice aromatics to your dish. So next thing, we've got some beautiful shelled pistachios, unsalted. Take a nice little handful, straight into that Vitamix. You just blitz up your aromatics. We'll kind of catch the rest of the flavors in those. And yeah, just a quick little blitz, not so fine powder, but just for some nice texture in Arayes. So next up, we're going to grate some garlic, microplane garlic, best friends. Yeah, I love using these things for garlic. It just really gets a nice little fine finished texture on your garlic, and will disperse nicely through the mince as well. And yeah, makes for a quick clean up. Whoops. Start again. Cool guys, so start again, man. Jump, just stop, and cut. Next step is now that you have all your ingredients prepped into your Arayes mincemeat mix, we're just going to add a tiny bit of extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to add a nice little pinch of black pepper. We won't salt until we're about to prep our Arayes. You never want to salt your meat too far ahead of this, and yeah, we'll get that situated. Cool guys, so we're just going to use our hands and mix this mixture through all those ingredients that we nicely finely chopped up. You don't want to overwork your mince, but yeah, we'll just get everything nicely dispersed through our mince, and then that will be ready to stuff into our fresh little pizza breads, and that will be the creation of our Arayes. And action. What's up guys, so we're quickly going to go What's up guys, we're quickly talking through a quick pickle. We're going to pick up some red onions for our Arayes. So yeah, we'll quickly walk through the liquid ingredients, and we'll show you guys how to finely dice some or chop some onions for our red onion pickle. So right here into a bowl, you can just throw all your ingredients in at once. We have 250 ml of white vinegar, in addition to 250 ml of water, so equal quantities water to vinegar. We have 85 grams of sugar, and we have 25 grams of salt. So that's kind of a nice little ratio of sweet to savory on your pickling liquids. Into that, we're going to roll around with a few aromatics. We're going to do some pink peppercorns, so kind of a little sprinkle of pink peppercorns, a few little half coriander seeds, and then we're going to boost in a couple of little pieces of cloves, and then that'll go straight onto a stovetop. You'll heat that up, dissolve your dry ingredients into your wets, and that'll be ready to pickle your red onions. So guys, quick little talk through some techniques on cutting some onions. We go kind of against the grain, little chef cuts here. So we'll just finely slice these up, and we've got our pickling liquid on the go there on the stove top. You're going to get that to a nice dissolved rate, and then we'll pour that liquid over these beautifully diced onions. You kind of want a nice thin little onion, that'll make it easy to pickle, and that liquid will permeate the onions quite nicely and be good for a nice little pickle. I like to utilize a nice warm pickling liquid, so we go ahead and pour the liquid straight over the nice freshly chopped onions, and yeah, we'll let that sit for at least 24 hours. Kind of use your fingers, watch out, it's still pretty warm in the liquid, but break up those onions and make sure that liquid's kind of touching all the surfaces of everything, and let that sit in the fridge for about 24 hours and you'll have some beautifully pickled, delicious little onions. So guys, we're going to make a quick little tzatziki for our Arayes with the pitas. I've got 2 cucumbers, just prep these up, top and tailed. I've got some beautiful fresh dill and 2 cloves of garlic. So basically for tzatziks, we're going to use a nice little fine microplane grater, and we're just going to go ahead and grate up all this cucumber, and then we'll throw these all into a quick bowl and we'll pre-salt them. That'll get a lot of the excess moisture and liquid out of the cucumbers so that your end product of tzatziki is not too liquidy. So we got some nice fresh dill. We'll chop this up and cook that up for our tzatziki. So you're going to microplane some garlic up here. Just 2 cloves of that dill, and then we'll add some olive oil and some black pepper. Okay, so now you can see all the excess liquid from your cucumbers. Basically you want to squeeze out. It's amazing what the salt does to those cucumbers. Squeeze out as much of this liquid as possible in your cucumbers. We've got nice kind of dryish cucumbers. They've already been salted, so you don't have to add any additional salt to that. And add our chopped dill and our garlic into there. And then we're going to go ahead and throw a couple of nice tablespoons of Greek yogurt, straight from the motherland. And we'll just put some black pepper and some olive oil in there. So a nice little squeeze of olive oil, extra virgin, how we like them, and some black pepper. Awesome, now we have all our ingredients in our tzatziki. We're just going to mix that all through. And add some more Greek yogurt to this as well, just kind of see what the consistency looks like. Oh, it's looking beautiful. Just add a couple more tablespoons of Greek yogurt. So guys, what we've done, our initial rise on our dough, that took about 3 hours to double in size. We knocked that back. With our recipe, I doubled the recipe up, so we actually made 16 pizzas, but you just cut individual balls of about 60 to 65 grams. Yeah, we'll then take a little rolling pin, got an inventive here, and we'll work the pita couple ways over. You could use extra flour for this. I don't really need it. I don't want too much additional flour on our pita bread. Yeah, we kind of work the pita into a nice pita shape, and then we'll put those back onto a tea towel and we'll let them rise up for another half an hour, 45 minutes, just to get some air in them. Nice and thin, good size. I mean, you could roll that out even further if you wanted to. Tiny bit of flour definitely helps the cause here, but we're ready to go. That's a nice size little pita. That'll puff up double in size as well, and you'll be ready to make your little Arayes pockets. A quick little technique, you kind of want to not let your pitas deflate at all. So what you do is you stick your hand under the tea towel and you're going to do a quick little flip over. Try not to knock any of that additional rise on there, and then we'll go tea towel side down on the pan. That's one of your rise there. start seeing some steaming action happening, and then that's pretty much just going to open to a full pocket. Just about for a minute so you're not getting too much color. And there she starts going. They start puffing up super nicely. And that's what creates that pea pocket. And yeah, see that how puffed up it is. It's super hot. Wait. Ew! Pitta, pitta. Ready to start prepping up. We're going to take some salt. We haven't salted our lamb yet. Get some nice kosher salt, and we will work that into our mixture quickly. Try not to overwork the lamb. Just a tiny bit of flavor in it. Take a nice thin little handful of our lamb mince, whichever side of your pita you want. And we want a super thin layer of mince. That'll help the cooking process on the barbecue. Just spread it out as evenly as possible. You see all those pistachios and all the onions and everything that we chopped up nicely in that mince. Nice thin layer of lamb on that arayes. You can even hold it up. You can see a nice little thin layer. The lamb will stick nicely to the pita. So that's ready to go. We're going to grab some of our freshly pickled onions. Drop those on top of our little Arayes, and that's ready to get its little home lid on. So once you've done that, we are going to take the top layer, and that's ready. Little barbecue ready, and yeah, that's beautiful. Got the mince inside there, beautiful little onions, and we'll throw that straight onto the barbecue grill, and we'll be able to eat that up with some beautiful tzatziki.